morning, ladies and gentlemen. Rob here from WBHQ.com. Welcome to Market Mornings with Robert Roy. I hope you're all having a great day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. Go ahead and in the chat box, the comments, type the number 1 for yes, 2 for no. If you type in a 2, I'll know you're lying. But help me out to understand that I am not talking to myself for the next little bit of time. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go ahead and rock, as we've got a ton of candidates to try to get through today. So we got, keep in mind that as we go through everything we talk about is for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice or recommendations. Make sure that any trades that you ever take from me, from somebody else that you find, fit your own personal risk profile. Never do a trade because someone else tells you they think it's a good idea. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with our pre-market of what's going on in futures, right? So we could do a quick little look-see. We'll start with the ES, and this vertical line right here is yesterday's 5 p.m. close and yesterday's 6 p.m. open on the ES, which is the S&P 500 futures, right? We had a nice little roll up. We kind of put a double bottom pattern in there. We took a good move to the upside, and then to the European market, we fell off. We've started climbing back. We hit our low about 7 o'clock, and I guess, we finally broke out of these tops in here right about 8:30. So on economic reports, we get a little bit of a bounce, right? What did we have today for economic events? Right, so what do we got? 8:30 is durable goods, was durable goods. All of that's kind of the same report there. Nothing crazy there for U.S. Do we have anything else today? We've got crude inventory coming out at 10:30. That's a big one. I know Brandon always trades that in E-mini Think Tank. They're always trading crude on Wednesdays. Let's see. Nothing else from U.S. We do have some others. There's BOC press conference. So definitely some things that could move the markets, right? But nothing else really from our markets that's major, unless something crazy comes out about oil, which I don't think we're going to hear. So right now we're up about 4.25 points on the ES. We look at the YM, which is the Dow, very similar pattern. We're up 40 points on the Dow. When we go to NQ, which is NASDAQ, my fave, we are up 24.25. And when it comes to the RUT, the RTY, we're down about 7 points. Remember, small cap, different arena than what we see in the ES and the Dow and such, right? Bitcoin, 59,000-ish, right? Took another leg down. So I wonder how much of the price increase that rolled up into that 67, 68, almost 68,000, how much of that was in anticipation of this futures product coming out on Bitcoin? And now that it's out, buy on rumors, sell on fact or news, right? So now that it's out, it's kind of out, right? But we've seen a little bit of a pullback there. On gold, we're up about 1.5 points. So nothing crazy on gold. Kind of flattish, you can see from where it was on the previous day's close. When it comes to crude, again, a little bit of a rollover. There were talk yesterday on one of the channels, I forgot what it was, might have seen it on Facebook, of the expectation that this year we will double where we were in the beginning of the year for the cost of oil, for gas. So great, right? Great for the country, great for people's pocketbooks. Everybody's got a lot of money today, but they're going to run out of that money pretty soon. They're saying every state in the U.S. is already above $3. We're at $3.30 to $3.50. It's kind of the average. The Costco's are the exceptions to the rule. But we saw a little bit of a pullback. It's down $1.20 per barrel right now on crude. And then when we look at nat gas, we took a huge spike after flat all day long. We took a nice spike, right, in our pricing on gas, right? So let's go ahead and morning of that. Paula, Frankie, how you guys doing? Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and take a look at movers and shakers. And I'm going to open up there. I'm going to open up my option chain on another screen just so it activates and works. So here we've got Hood, H-O-O-D, right? They came out with earnings, right? We'll do it this way. It'll work better. So Hood came out with earnings. You can see the drop came right in up front and has gone sideways ever since, dead, right? We closed up about 39, call it 40. And right now we're sitting at 35 quarter. I'll be looking at a bear call spread on Hood for sure today, right? And let me see if we just got to activate the earnings, the option chain, right? If we look, let's just take a quickie at this and see if there's anything here. We're going to convert this over to vertical. I don't need any special on the spread, right? If we go and look here at Hood, right? So I like that 41 level. If I can get above 41, that would be great. I just don't know if it's going to happen. We're back down at this 35-ish range right now. So we're back to where they started as a stock when they went public, right? So if I can get something above 40 on the calls, there's just not a whole lot there. As of yesterday, well, 40 and a half, that's 50 cents. And we got to remember, these are yesterday's prices. So this is going to change today, right? So we got to see what happens when it opens up. But 40.41, yesterday I could get 32 cents for it. I would take 32 cents. I would take 20 cents right now if I can get that on the 40.41 bear call spread. Without a doubt, I will be all over that if I can grab it on the open of the market today. Right, then we got Big Airplane. Now, Boeing is the only one that has no earnings news on it, right? They took a charge back. It was a big charge back, a couple $100 million, 190 million or something, 170 million on their 787s. And they've had to cut production where they're down to 2 a month. And I look at that and said, all right, when the announcement came out, they were kind of flat, right? And then the announcement came out and they were all over the place and they've started to climb. Why? The expectation is probably, okay, whew, we know the devil we know, right? The announcement's out, the news is out, we know what it's going to cost us. It's not 600 million or 10 billion or whatever it is. We know the numbers, so we're okay, so we can start to grow and climb again, right? So we're looking at a bull put spread potentially on this. So it closed about 210, it's at 214, but bull put spread would be the way to go. KO, Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola. I will be looking at a naked put on Coca-Cola, 54.5. They're right now trading at 56. If we come on and bring that option chain back over, get rid of vertical, and let's just go back to a single. So what do we got today? Well, first we need to look at the daily chart and see what's the daily chart showing us. So bigger picture. All right, fib is still good in there. So I'm looking at somewhere down below that $54 for my bull put spread, right? So if I, no, actually I'm doing naked put. So somewhere down below the 54. If I can get, so yesterday the 54, it's going to change a little. If we have a $1.50 move. So if we make this $1.50 move, so right now we're looking at possibly only 12 cents for what we can get for this week, but it is Wednesday already, so we're going to lose some days. So it may not be enough for this week, but I'll probably be looking at the 54. And if I can't get it for this week, I'll look out for next week. And the 54 next week was trading as of yesterday at 54 cents. So we're probably looking at closer to about 25 cents is what we're going to see today. We'll see, maybe 30. We'll see as the market opens. You could do a credit spread on it also, but I don't mind owning Coke because I would then go ahead and write covered calls on it if I'm exercised. So I'm really not too concerned with it. If we looked at this week, I would get 17 cents for the, but again, that was yesterday's price. So for the 56 next week, probably looking at 57. Yeah, so we'd get 16 or so cents for the covered call if we were exercised. But I do like Coke as a company, so I'm good. All right, Mickey D's, MCD. Bull put spread. Mickey D's was earnings. They closed up about 236. They're at 242.5. Right, if we look. So we got Mickey D's. Their earnings drove them up to about 242.5. So look where they are, right at resistance. If I could do something down below that 238, I would love it. Mickey D's doesn't want to play. Trade Station not wanting to play nice. All right. From there, Microsoft, Mr. Softy. Right? They were all over the place last night on the announcement. Up, down, back up again. I mean, they just couldn't keep it straight. Someone finally read the report. We got a little bit of a pop. We came back and flattened off. So it looks like we've settled out well. We're looking at 315. We closed about 310. So I would be looking at, on Microsoft, I would be looking at the credit spread. Too high of a price for me to do naked puts on it. Google. ABC, Alphabet, right? They came out with earnings last night, and here's my issue with Google right now. What happened? The earnings came out, things weren't good. They came crashing down. They climbed back up and flattened off, but didn't quite get back to where they were. Now look at today. If you've been with me on some of these shows in the past, I talk about hash mark. There's just a trade, very small quantity, very small movement happening in there. That concerns me a little bit of, is it real? You know, is that just someone testing the waters, some random guy, gal, company throwing an order out there? We really haven't made much of a shift, and we have gapped up a little bit from where we were on yesterday's close. So I'm going to be watching Google at the open. I'm going to look for bull put or bear call spread. It really just depends on what Google's price action does around its fib and pivot levels. General Motors, GM, they rocked, right? Or they thought they did. They pushed up, they pushed back down. We're down below the 8. We're going to be looking at, we're sitting at 56. We closed up about 57.5 yesterday. So bear call spread potentially on General Motors. All right, then for Mr. Paul, a very good friend of mine who is no longer with us, Hog, H-O-G. Every time I see this symbol, I remember him because Paul was a great guy. He was a tech that I used to work with when I was a trainer for a company teaching stock market education workshops. And he had a Harley, Hog, right? And he had planned on doing the Four Corners, where you basically went from California to Seattle. He lived in Washington, to Florida. I don't know if it was New York, if they went further north, but the Four Corners of the U.S., he was going to drive that as he retired. But great gentleman. So what happened? We had this gap and go. We gave it all back. We pulled up, and we're in a little bit of a wedging type pattern right now. So once again, where do I trade this one? I don't know until I see what it does in the market open and see how it revolves around some of its horizontal lines, its fib lines, its pivot points, and so forth, right? Let's see. From Hog, we got Spotify. S-P-O-T. Woo! So Spotify goes from about 253, I think it was. Let me see. 252. They're at 268. Nice move. Let's go check Spotify out here. And on Spotify, we got a fib line at 255 and 263. So let me write these down. 255 and 263. Those are our two major fib lines that we're contending with on spot. All right, so let's go back here. 255, 263. Okay. So let's flip this over to a vertical. Now, could you trade this as a directional trade? Absolutely, without a doubt. Let's flip it over to a vertical. And let's see. Can we get anything down below that 255 level that has any value to it? 255, 252.5 was $1.25 yesterday. So a $2.50 spread, they paid you $1.25. So you got a 50%, 100% rate of return if you are right on this trade. Okay. Will we get that tomorrow? Today, probably not after a $16 move. Let's see. We're probably looking at closer to 30 or 40 cents on this week. We could look out into next week and look at that. Well, actually, the other one was 263. So do I have 62.5? I do. So I have 260, 62.5. Was paying $1.20 yesterday. We're probably looking at a little bit less than that today, of course. We'll see where it all goes, but we're probably looking at 40 or 50 cents for next week to be that far away as well. So those are the two choices. Below 255 is my ideal. That's kind of my reach. And below 263 if I can't get it below the 255, assuming that we still get a continuation move to the upside. right? Spot, S-P-O-T, right? Visa, Visa V. Love me some Visa. I do like credit card companies very much. It's not like people stop buying things on credit. When things get worse, people buy more things on credit. They may not pay them back, but they buy more things on credit. They also buy more things on credit and hold debt longer, right? They make minimum payments on their debt, right? Which credit card companies love. And now they even have to tell you, if you make that minimum payment, how long it's going to take you and what it's going to cost you. So we closed up at 232. We're at 224 right now, 224 half. All of it, we went sideways when we made the announcement. It was one big drop, and they just stayed there, right? Giving me an indication of we're not going back up. I'll be looking at bear call spread on Visa. All right, folks, drop the symbols in you want me to take a look at. Test Fire, I will look at Nvidia for us in a moment. I got one left here. ENPH is my next one. Also an earnings play. They closed up about 170, was it 6? 173. And they're sitting at 206 right now. Tremendous move. I'll be looking at a bull put spread on this. And where are we at? 250 increments. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. But that's what I'll be looking for is a bull put spread on ENPH. All right. Yes. So Sean just jumped in and said, "Hey, don't know if you realized that, but video is now optionable." Yes, it was optionable on Monday, is when it came through. Right. So let's see. BITO. No, it wasn't optional. It wasn't Monday. This one was today. No. It is Monday. We've got open interest on it. We have open interest. Sorry, I'm looking at the other screen. I should have just shared it with you. We have open interest. Yeah, this one's already optionable, right? I've got it in the vertical. That's why. All right, this one's already optionable. Yep, absolutely. But I appreciate it, Sean. Paula's asking, well, actually, we need to look at NVIDIA first. NVDA. Paula, we'll get to SPY in a moment. Let's do this. Let's look at NVIDIA here. So tough trade with the gap that it's made. I mean, it's crushing it right now, right? They are killing it. They are all-time highs, doing absolutely fantastico, right? They're crushing it right now. I would love to see a pullback to the 245.38 and a bounce. That would be my entry. I'd call it a B trade, not an A trade, because I have no confluence. I don't have a moving average near that fib line. So it has strength, but it doesn't have a lot of strength, right? It's got some strength in there, but it's not one that is super strong, right? There's no reinforcement. Maybe that's the best way to say it. So I hope that helps. Tesla Fire. Paula would do SPY. I love me some SPY. Let's bring this in a little bit. Okay. So right now in the markets, we're down a little bit, right? We were at least a few moments ago. And we would want to get above that 456.71. If we see the markets roll over, if you wanted to take a day trade and test, if they come back up and test the 456.71 and roll, we're looking at 454 as support. So somewhere above there would be your target. All right. I hope that helps, Paula. Miguel asked for GM. We had that one on our list for earnings, right? So if we go back and look intraday, GM, right? Move up, move back down. Traders didn't like the news, even though it seemed to be perceived as good in the open when they first announced, just couldn't hold up. So we're looking at GM as a bearish setup. Fib is good. I just need to pull it out. And on GM, we're at 56 right now. So this is 57, 56. Beautiful. So what I'd like to see on that, Miguel, is I'd love to see it come back up and retest that 57 level, right? And my 8 moving average is close enough for a confluence. So give me a retest of that level and a fail. And that's why I'd be looking at a bearish trade. All right. Financial preparedness is LCID. LCID. All right, so a lot of tops in here. We've lived here multiple times. Newer company, looks like came out the end of last year. We've lived here multiple times. So either give me a pullback to the 8 and a bounce and look at a resistance at about 28.23, or wait for the breakout and the retest, because we've had the breakout before. Right? We had the breakout before. It broke right here and then failed. We never really got a retest. We gapped up, ran, and failed. Right? We've bumped our head on ugly. That's the way I call resistance, right? Bumped our head on ugly twice now, two different occurrences. Now a third time, we really need to see us either A, get above, or get back to the 8 moving average and bounce and look for the entry off of there. All right. So I hope that helps on LCID. Guys, here, there's a trade setup that I do called zero line breakout, and that trade has crushed it for us. It is a brand new setup. I started releasing it in May. I do free trainings on it every week. I do 2 of them a week, and we send up to 2. My goal is to find 2 a week. If I find only one good one, I do only one. I'm not going to give you a trade for the sake of giving you a trade, right? If you go ahead and let me actually bring up my spreadsheet. If you go over to tradinglikeaboss.com, you will see Trade with Rob is right here. It's a free registration, right? Actually, everything on this page is free. If you want to learn more about fibs, there's a training you can get in there. If you want to get into our power hour training, it's in there. But this Trade with Rob, you want those notifications, right? I have traders that we have over 1,000 traders that follow us on this, right? And they are the ones that are actively using it are crushing it with this strategy. And I give you 2 major candidates every single week. Again, the goal is 2 a week. All right. Sean just dropped that in there for you in the chat box, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So go ahead and check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We're done for the day. And when I say we're done with this training. It's time to get to trading now. So make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Take care, and I will see all of you at our next update. Bye for now.